Monster Hunter Rise has been out for almost 10 months now, and we're starting to reach the period of time where many people are really analyzing Rise and how it impacts the series moving forward. Most of these analyses focus on areas where Rise can do better, with the main example of this being the difficulty of the game. However, despite Rise making some changes that didn't quite sit well with people, there are still some really good changes and additions that Rise made. This video is going to focus on one of those good additions, as you can no doubt tell from the title and thumbnail, is the Switch skill system. Now, I can already hear some of you rushing to the comments to talk about the controversial nature of the wire bug, but I want to be clear that in this video I am not going to talk about any aspect of the wire bug, including the Silkbind Switch skills, since everything wire bug related is a topic best suited for another video. This video will focus on the Switch skills that change weapon moves, and how this system is something that needs to stay in the series. Obviously, most of us know what Switch skills are, but I'm going to break down what they are fundamentally. Before we do that though, let's look at Generations and Generations Ultimate. Generations was an anniversary title, or a celebration of how far the series had progressed since it started way back in 2004. It was the portable title of the 4th generation, and to celebrate, they made a game that really took the whole "everyone is here" mantra to heart. However, since they put a huge focus on returning monsters opposed to new ones, it would have been very easy for the game to feel stale if it was just fighting the same monsters in the exact same eBay as before. So, how did the Monster Hunter team solve this issue? They introduced Hunter Styles and Hunter Arts, a system that allows the player to not only have cool new moves and perform new tricks, but also to change the moveset of each weapon. The purpose of Hunter Arts and Styles was to change how you approached the weapon and the hunt. Let's say you wanted to try Gunlance, and you made a nice normal shelling Gunlance. The shelling type you chose influences the Hunter style you choose, and since Striker style removed the slam, that would be a style you would avoid because it's a vital part of normal shelling Gunlance. On the other hand, let's say you made a nice long shelling Gunlance. Now, the slam is not as vital as a move for you anymore, and a Hunter style like Striker style is more appealing since you can use all of the Hunter Arts to your advantage. In principle, this was the intended design of the Hunter Art system. However, for most weapons this trade-off system didn't exist like for Gunlance, and most weapons didn't see that level of customization. So, fast forward a few years later to the next portable title, Monster Hunter Rise. Rise kept this idea of playstyle customizability from Generations, but fixed a major flaw that Generations had. Hunter Arts were uniform, and while they did feature changes on an individual basis, it was uniform in the sense that every weapon had an aerial style, every weapon had an adept style, and so forth. So, a weapon like Insect Glaive benefited greatly from aerial style, while something like Lance didn't have that same level benefit. Rise took that core design principle, the ability to change the playstyle of a weapon, and fixed the problem that Generations had by applying it to each individual weapon. So now we have weapons like Dual Blades and Insect Glaive with their own version of aerial style, while weapons like Bow and Hammer have their own version of Valor style. Another important design of Switch skills is the sacrifice, or trade-off, that is made to have a different playstyle. In order to accommodate for new playstyles, some aspects have to be sacrificed, otherwise you're just adding new moves to the weapon. Now that we have broken down the design principle of Switch skills, let's look at some examples of Switch skills that perfectly apply this philosophy. Looking at all of the weapons in the game, the Gunlance is one that applies this concept perfectly. Gunlance is naturally a weapon that has multiple playstyles, and both of the Switch skills Gunlance has a fit for. Let's look at the first Switch skill for Gunlance, Charged Shelling and Blast Dash. Charged Shelling is a gateway to a few different moves for the Gunlance. You could just use Charged Shelling the entire hunt, a playstyle that works well with wide shelling. You can also use Charged Shelling to release a fast Wormstake, something that works well with wide shelling to stun monsters, as well as with long shelling to cut tails. Charged shells also give you the ability to perform a full burst while in the air, something perfect for normal shelling. Blast Dash does not have as many offensive capabilities as charged shelling, however that doesn't mean it's inferior. One of the things Gunlance has always suffered from is a lack of mobility, which makes sense for a weapon viewed as a tank alongside Lance. While Evade Extender greatly increases the mobility of Gunlance, there are some downsides to it. Blast Dash allows Gunlance to be a very mobile weapon, being able to keep up with the fast pace of some monsters like Nargacuga or Zinogre. In addition to mobility, Blast Dash also provides a way to quickly get in the air, and either shell in the air to hit flying monsters like Rat Halos, and go directly into the slam and full burst, something that greatly benefits normal and long shelling. These switch skills both have that trade-off I mentioned earlier, where one skill allows you to have more offensive options in a hunt, while the other provides you with freedom and mobility, while also making it easier to perform some vital moves. Okay, now let's look at Gunlance's other set of switch skills, Quick Reload and Guard Reload. For the Gunlance, the Quick Reload is a very important ability that allows the Gunlance to reload all of its shells after an attack. The downside to this is that it does not reload the Wormstake, meaning that you have to break your flow of combat to reload the Wormstake in order to use it again. This makes Quick Reload a great skill for the full burst playstyle, since you can infinitely loop the sweep combo and full burst to your heart's content. Guarded Reload, on the other hand, does not have such weaknesses and allows you to quickly reload the Wormstake and 3 shells, while also giving you a guard point, not only making this a good defensive option, but also really playing well with playstyles like Wide where you can Wormstake spam. While all of these switch skills are cool on their own, the area where Gunlance's switch skills really shine are when you combine them to further strengthen the playstyles. So not only can you have a full burst playstyle using Quick Reload and Blast Dash, a poke shell playstyle with charged shelling and guarded reload, but you can combine them even more to have other playstyles, like using charged shelling and Quick Reload to have the Iceborne charged shelling playstyle, or even using Blast Dash and guarded reload to have a jack of all trades playstyle that really matches with what long shelling has going on. And none of this is even including how the Silkbind switch skills further change the playstyle you choose for the Gunlance. Looking back at the design of switch skills, they were more than just giving the player new moves, but their purpose is to create new playstyles and new ways to experience the same hunt, something that Gunlance is the perfect embodiment of in Rise. You might have noticed this by now, but I've been very careful to mention the design of switch skills when talking about creating new playstyles, because in application this system still needs some fine-tuning. While weapons like Gunlance, Sword and Shield, Dual Blades, and others have very good examples of this concept, in application, not all of the switch skills really uphold this philosophy. Let's look at the longsword for a second. One of the default switch skills for the longsword is the Step Slash, the basic draw attack for the longsword. The first switch skill for longsword changes only the draw attack, which can be chosen between Step Slash and Double Drawn Slash. Double Drawn Slash is a switch skill that does almost twice the damage as Step Slash, and it fills the spirit gauge by almost half. So, where is the trade-off? Why would you choose Step Slash instead of Double Drawn Slash? Well, in simple terms, you wouldn't. Double Drawn Slash is objectively better than Step Slash, and there is absolutely no trade-off, because you can still perform Step Slash anyways with Double Drawn Slash equipped. Unfortunately, there are quite a few situations where a switch skill is just objectively the better option, like Hammer with Water Strike, or that the switch skills don't really provide a new playstyle, and just slightly change how something works, like with Light Bow Gun. It makes sense why some of the switch skills in the game don't really fit the concept we talked about earlier, since it's hard to come up with new ways to play well-established weapons, while also maintaining their relative balance. However, this system is still in its infancy, and there's plenty of time to format skills into the original concept it held, while also making sure it still feels new. All we're left with is the big final question: should switch skills stay in the series? Absolutely. While imperfect, switch skills still maintain the primary function of allowing the player to take the same weapon and being able to play it in multiple fun ways. The main reason preventing hunting styles in Generations from making a comeback in the series was that it was tied to mechanics like aerial style and adept style and many other systems that wouldn't be practical to bring to other games. Switch skills, on the other hand, are not tied to any other system, so bringing this system into future games would basically just involve adding a new menu option like Rise has. The replayability aspect of a game is a very important factor to a game's longevity, and switch skills are something that helped Rise feel fresh, especially if you play multiple weapons. So yeah, these are the reasons why I think switch skills are a breakthrough in the series, and how they can continue to get better in future games. If I had any advice for making the switch skill system in Sunbreak even better, I would say to go crazy, and give us more unique skills like Hammer's Water Strike or Sword and Shield's Sliding Slash. Anyways, that's going to do for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, since I'm working on changing my video formats to be more engaging for you guys. If you enjoyed it, then please consider supporting my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.